Happy Mother's Day to all of you, and this weekend we are just celebrating Mother's Day. It's going to be a little different too, because I am going to go out to Michigan and I'll be with my mom, who's in her 90th year, and so I'm doing a wedding. I'm going to do the wedding for a niece of mine on Saturday night, and then I'm gathering with my mom and siblings to celebrate Mother's Day. But anyway, happy Mother's Day. So watch this. We just thank you for always listening to us saying, "Hey, Mom."
Hey, Mom. What's for lunch? Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom. Where did dirt come from?
Hey, Mom. I got laundry. Hey, Mom. Is it Thursday?
Does this look infected?
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom. Mom, I'm stuck again. Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom.
Hey, Google, call Mom.
And we also want to thank moms for just being there and encouraging us. With the Olympics coming up in Japan, we're just reminded of what moms do to even Olympians.
Você tá bem.
Esqueci.
Alles gut. Das ist schon nur so ein kleines Bild.
Hey, lass den in Ruhe! Ich ruf deine Mutter!
E aí, gatinha? Tu tá indo pra onde? Tu tá indo pra onde?
大赛马上要临近了。
无受热烈。
儿子，你行的啊，你可以的，孩子。
What a difference a year makes.
A catastrophic situation is playing out in Australia.
The smoke visible from space.
A New Year's Eve crisis going into 2020.
People are telling us this is the worst they've ever seen. Fires have burned more intensely.
The catastrophic Category 4 hurricane bearing down on the U.S.
We could be looking at a majority of the surrounding communities flooded with upwards of 9 to 20 feet of water.
The two largest wildfires in Colorado history.
Important than experience. I've always said that.
Mysterious pneumonia outbreak in Wuhan, China.
A new type of coronavirus.
The number of affected countries has tripled.
The World Health Organization has just declared that this is a pandemic.
Countries in Europe are now acting to flatten the epidemic.
Public gatherings banned.
Working from home is the new reality.
This is going to get worse before it gets better.
Italy saw its deadliest day from the coronavirus as the death toll jumped by more than 600 in 24 hours.
It can be new to be having a church service online.
Nobody really knows when we're going to be able to meet together, and that's okay. But we'd like to at least get into your home, or at least into your computer screens,
And you know, everyone's looking for the truth about this coronavirus, trying to figure out who can get it and who can't. Is it the old? Is it the young? Is it your blood type?
School is closed
for the remainder of the academic year.
Guys, let's
It could be tough.
What do we want? What do we want?
Won it all in 2020. Los Angeles Lakers.
More like Mars.
One of the most busy hurricane seasons ever on record.
Today I'm identifying houses of worship, churches, synagogue, and mosques as essential places that provide essential services.
The governor's decision to re-close places of worship is...
Give us a quick overview of why you think you should reopen given the coronavirus.
Well, first of all and foremost, it's a First Amendment right. This is the United States of America, and the government can't intrude in worship.
Lord, I pray for us as a church.
God is in control and we trust Him. And do you remember Mother's Day last year? You know, our church, we actually gave out flowers, and last year was pretty special. We gave out toilet paper. Remember that? You know, really, it's so important to be connected with other believers. The local church is important, but also the universal church, believers around the world working together to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so, real briefly, and through a lot of videos, I want to show you how San Antonio Heights Community Church is networked and working together with other churches around the world. So we're part of a great organization called the Pacific Church Network. And thought I'd just show you a little bit about what Pacific Church Network does, what we do, and take a look at this.
Pacific Church Network is a network of over 75 ethnically and culturally diverse churches. Pacific Church Network churches are committed to a joint statement of faith and participating together toward the advancement of the gospel. Pacific Church Network churches partner together to equip each other, encourage each other, and establish new churches together.
The Pacific Church Network has been a great resource for our ministries.
PCN is also a part of a greater family of churches across and even beyond the United States. PCN, along with 8 other partner networks across the U.S. together, form CB America. Beyond the U.S., PCN partners with a network of over 200 military chaplains, the international network CB Global, and 2 mission organizations, World Venture and Missions Door. In addition to all of this, PCN has planted more than 20 new churches across the western U.S. over the past 5 years.
And so just becoming a family church that wouldn't have been possible without the PCN's help.
I come to the retreat every year because I love the fellowship.
Pacific Church Network has literally come around us, and they're temporarily providing elders for us right now.
I really love the training classes.
Another significant ministry of PCN is our Seminary of the Americas, offering classes at an affordable cost to Spanish and English-speaking students across Southern California and Arizona, establishing new churches to expand the kingdom and fulfill the Great Commission, encouraging and supporting each other to be more effective in serving our Lord, equipping each other to continuously grow in our leadership and ministry effectiveness. Pacific Church Network.
Also, you know that we, Pacific Church Network, has a great history. And if you don't know anything about that, take a look at this video.
The roots of the movement, first known as Conservative Baptist, began as early as 1920, when a group of pastors tried to establish doctrinal standards for missionary agencies within the Northern Baptist Convention. On May 24, 1943, Christian leaders met in Chicago, Illinois at Tabernacle Baptist Church to pray, taking a history-making stand. World Venture, then known as the Conservative Baptist Foreign Mission Society, was born to assist churches in training, sending, and supporting missionaries with an unwavering commitment to the authority of the Bible and the proclamation of salvation through faith in Jesus Christ. Today, World Venture supports global workers in more than 65 countries across all 6 inhabited continents. 3 years later, in 1946, the Conservative Baptist Association of America was organized. Today, CB America has 1,000 churches in 8 regions. In 1954, Pacific Church Network, formerly known as the Conservative Baptist Association of Southern California, was formed. We are an association of churches and ministries coming together to defend and promote the gospel of Jesus Christ. We have churches in Southern California, Hawaii, Guam, and Seattle. In 1948, Missions Door, then known as the Conservative Baptist Home Mission Society, was birthed for the purpose of preaching the gospel and planting churches across the United States and the North American continent. Over the years, Missions Door has expanded, and their missionaries are serving Christ worldwide. In 1952, during the Korean War, the U.S. War Department asked for chaplains, and CB America responded. Today, over 200 chaplains serve in all branches of the U.S. military, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the Veterans Health Administration, and in other civilian chaplaincies. In the summer of 2005, a group of Conservative Baptist leaders from the Philippines, Hong Kong, Japan, and Taiwan came together in Macau. The time had come for national associations of Conservative Baptist, CB, churches to recognize formally that they are members of the CB Global family. That is, the family of CB churches all over the world. These churches came from the same family, share a common heritage, and hold the same doctrinal beliefs. Today, CB Global is made up of many CB associations from around the world. Educational institutions also partnered in the CB family of ministries are Arizona Christian University, Western Seminary, and Seminary of the Americas, which is a ministry of Pacific Church Network. We are a strong network of ministries working together to promote the gospel of Jesus Christ all over the world.
PCN also has an annual meeting, and I'll tell you, every once in a while, we have a lot of fun.
He done changed me. God Almighty, He done changed me. Change me. Change me. God Almighty, He done changed me. God Almighty, He done changed me. Change me. Change me. God Almighty, He done changed me. Change me. Change me. God Almighty, He done changed me. Change me. Change me. God Almighty, He done changed me. Change me. Change me. God Almighty, He done changed me. Change me. Change me. God Almighty, He done changed me. Change me. Change me. God Almighty, He done changed me. Change me. Change me. God Almighty, He done changed me. Change me. Change me. God Almighty, He done changed me. Change me. Change me. God Almighty, He done changed me. Change me. Change me. God Almighty, He done changed me. Change me. Change me. God Almighty, He done changed me. Change me. Change me. God Almighty, He done changed me
PCN here regionally, our church supports them, and they really work hard at revitalizing existing churches.
After nearly 85 years of gospel ministry on the beautiful California coast, Calvary Baptist of Santa Barbara faced closing its doors forever. Dwindling attendance, an aging congregation, and recurring conflict had resulted in the defection of leadership and near despair by the few remaining members. But by God's grace, remembering their long affiliation with the historic CB America, the few members reached out to the Pacific Church Network. It was exactly the right decision at precisely the right time. With the wise and experienced shepherding of Jim Smith, Emilio Nunez, Bobby Grossi, Sean Garman, and Bob Robison, affectionately known as the Five Guys, Calvary found hope toward the possibility of revitalization. So thanks so much, leaders and constituency of the Pacific Church Network, for loving our 85-year-old church. Personally, we found a warm welcome into the PCN family, and Calvary is committed to financially support the endeavors of the Pacific Church Network moving forward. We do look forward to what God will do through Calvary Baptist Santa Barbara and the PCN long into the future until Jesus returns to make all things new.
And planting new churches. And right here on our website, you can see that we have new churches that we have planted ever since, well, it's been the 50s when it started. But then recently, in 2012, we planted churches, and you can look every year on our website, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 churches every year.
PCN's great. It's a good group of believers, love the Lord. They love having a strategic view of being involved in church planning and resourcing the church. Great group of people, very generous.
You know, for me, I just like PCN because of the people. Just the relationships that are built across many cities.
What do I love about the PCN? Number one, I love their vision for church planting. They have the same vision I do. And I'm a church planter, and I want to see churches that plant churches, and they are all about that. And they put their money where their mouth is. They certainly help in partnership, but they also help financially. And as a church planter, I can get behind that. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, just appreciate the network.
We're so grateful and so appreciative for families like the Pacific Church Network. For your prayers, for your support. We especially resonate with your mission to equip and encourage church planners like myself, church teams like ours, and especially your desire to establish new churches.
I've never been more excited to work with a group of churches than I am to work with PCN right now. One of the reasons is they have a vision and they know what their mission is, and they are determined to accomplish it. It centers around the church, forming new churches, getting serious about planting churches, helping all the churches in the movement plant churches, and also strengthening the churches that are already there. That's a great vision, it's a great mission, and PCN is serious.
Network Chaplaincy, which has 200 chaplains around the world, military chaplains, hospital chaplains, local chaplains.
There's no doubt that our young men and women who leave their mothers and fathers, their sisters and brothers, their wives and their children, and raise their hand, face the opportunity of going to war, possibly not coming home. These are heroes.
You're out in the middle of, God knows where, literally, out on the ocean, and you're with these people who are all sacrificing their time and talents, some of the best young men and women our nation has. And you're sharing in their joys and sorrows. You're part of this.
And these are the most amazing people on the planet to do the things they do and to keep this country free. And we as chaplains get to be there with them.
It's really more one-on-one, getting out there, talking with soldiers, seeing what their problems are, and basically getting them to open up and share with you what their innermost thoughts are, and let them know you're ear there to listen, and then you have a word of encouragement to help them get through the day.
I feel like this is an important time in history for chaplains, and we need to be on our A game. Not only need to understand the military culture, the Army culture, but also be godly spiritual men.
You're the chaplain. You're the chaplain. You represent God, you represent calmness, and you represent truth
A lot of counseling sessions don't happen when these Marines come into my office. A lot of it happens when I'm in the field with them and they pull me aside. And just because I was there, what was taught to us in chaplain school was always have, they call it hip pocket sermons. Something ready to go in your hip pocket so you can break it out and do a field service on the fly.
Woo! Did you get all that? And we're just really excited about PCN being part of Pacific Church Network regionally, and then nationally with Venture Church Network, and then globally with CB Global. So just wanted to tell you a little bit about how we're connected with so many people, church planting, revitalization of some churches, and missions and planting churches around the world. But we're excited that you're part of San Antonio Heights Community Church, or at least you're watching it today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for trying to learn a little bit of how connected we are around the world. And you know, it's just great to know that as a believer, you are connected around the world. You have members of God's family in every country in the world. It's exciting to be part of a worldwide organism, a worldwide church that loves God and loves people. And we're doing all we can to show compassion and the love of God. Wow. We're sharing the good news of Jesus Christ around the world. So we do our part right here, locally, in the San Antonio Heights Inland Empire region, and you're doing your part in your home, your neighborhood, where you work, go to school. So thanks for tuning in. And until we meet next week, have a great week. We'll start up with the book of Ephesians, the end of chapter 1 next week. Bye-bye.